Hey there, and welcome to Brainy Marketing. My name's Larry Koch, and today we're going to do a short video to kind of get this channel kicked off a little bit. We're going to talk about how to do marketing as a B2B company, specifically how to do digital marketing as a B2B company. Now, I'm not going to dive into any of the strategies that you might use sort of specifically, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, Google search, email marketing. What I'm going to actually do is start off at a conceptual level, partly because it's one of the first videos on this channel, and I think it's really, really important to set the foundation, but also I just think it's like with anything in life, you want to have a kind of epistemology or a conceptual framework to something before you go and dive down each of the potential avenues. So while digital marketing is not a topic for a 5, 6, 7 minute video, it is definitely of value to work out sort of conceptually, just get some of the kind of cobwebs that I see in a lot of people I talk to. Just get that kind of out of one's head and sort of see the wood from the trees and develop a kind of practical few concepts that are going to allow us to take us on no matter where these videos go. I'll always tell people watch this video first, most likely. So let's dive straight into the topic then. So you've got two things basically that you can do as a B2B company. You've basically got outreach and you've got inbound. Now this is going to be the way that I conceptualize all of this stuff. Of course there are a few other ways you can sort of split the pie here, but I think this is the easiest way to see things. So you've got outbound and you've got inbound. So let's do an example of this on the outbound side first, and we'll come back to inbound. So let's say we're doing an email marketing campaign or a LinkedIn outreach campaign where we're spamming thousands of people on LinkedIn. I will do a separate video on that as well, because that's a very interesting new field, LinkedIn bot marketing. But let's say we're doing a campaign where a B2B company, so it could be anything, accountancy firm, marketing firm like me, PR agency, HR agency, recruitment agency, cleaning company, building services company, commercial real estate broker, whatever it is, you're B2B. You can just go out to any company. So like, let's say a commercial real estate broker. Let's say theoretically they can work with any kind of company that needs an office, right? So an approach of a low value or very badly positioned outbound campaign could be, let's get an email list of just all the founders or CEOs of companies of a certain size and a certain location. And let's just email them all, hey, I'm a commercial broker, I can help you move offices. No matter what type of company you are, what size company you are, get in touch. Okay, fine. You will get responses to that, and you can do that. An example of a better approach to that would be, hi, I help creative and marketing companies find inspirational office space in London. I've got a case study where I helped this very well-known marketing company, move to a much more beautiful premises and actually save money. Here's the link to the case study. Would you like to chat? And obviously, in that case, you're only targeting those kind of companies, of course. So you can immediately see the difference. One is really dialed in, so you're positioned better. Those phone calls are going to go a lot better than the ones where you're sort of just going out there and saying, hey, let me chat to any kind of company. Because they can tell that you're dialed in. They're going to be much more interested because of how well positioned you are. So let's now go over to the inbound side. So a similar thing happens there, but it's more about the channel here. So broadly speaking, you've got display and search. Most online advertising is display, so think of it as digital billboards. Whether those billboards are on someone's Facebook page, LinkedIn page, Instagram page, or they're on on popular websites through Google's display network. What's happening there is effectively you're saying, hey, look at me, these are my services, and someone's sort of stroking their chin and saying, now that looks like a potentially interesting service, let me get in touch. Fine, of course that works, and social media advertising campaigns are some of the most profitable that you can run. And obviously, it helps if you've got your audience really, really dialed in so that only the correct people are seeing you. Then your chances of that applying to that person, if the need is there and your services are really great and your ads are great, you're actually going to get a lot of engagement on that. But of course, the holy grail of inbound advertising is sort of search advertising. And that means basically if someone is searching in Google for what you do, so they're saying, move office London, or commercial property broker London. They're literally searching for what it is that you do, and then they get a text ad on Google. The search results come, and your ad is there. They go through to a page where there's an inquiry form. Bish, bash, bosh. You're happy. They're happy. They were looking for that. They got that. They dropped the inquiry. You respond to the inquiry. They become a client. A certain percentage become a client. So you can see there the difference, right? If someone's actually looking for your service and your ads are only running to people who have intent, that is the best sort of positioning, if you will, that you can have. Whereas obviously Facebook advertising works as well. If you're selling a product, if you're selling a service to a specific type of business owner, let's say you sell a software solution, to law firms. You can find all the lawyers on LinkedIn, and you can run them ads. And as long as you dial in that audience properly, you will have a lot of success doing that as well. But you can't be certain that any of those people seeing your ads are actually in need of your service at that moment. Whereas with search advertising, you can. So basically, the universe I'm setting up here is you've got outbound, where you're knocking on a door, your telemarketing, your phone, your email marketing, your LinkedIn messaging, your direct approach, right? And you can either be general or very well positioned. And you can think creatively about how to become more well positioned. So that's just the element there is creativity and whether you can get the niche level data to email or to message. Of course, if you can't break down your audience by the niche you want to go, then you obviously can't do that campaign because you don't actually have access to data that is that specific. So it takes a little bit more work, but you can be very niche with those approaches. Second is on the inbound, you have the display, which is sort of less well positioned, and you have search, which is the holy grail. Also on the inbound, you have stuff like this, where you're creating content. You can either write it or you can do videos like this. And a certain percentage of people do get in touch with you just if they get value out of your content. And that's just as good as search advertising, if not better. But it takes a lot more work. So it's not for everyone. Not everyone has the time to sit here and talk to a camera for hours a day. For our sins. That's the universe that I want to set up, and so I think this is going to be really useful for you to understand. And when you think about how much time investment, if you're new to digital marketing, or even if you've been doing a little bit of it, that there is in outbound and inbound, it should come as no surprise to you that outbound is a lot cheaper to do than inbound. And it's kind of like everything in life, guys. Whether it's whatever service it is, whether on a personal capacity or a business capacity, the more something delivers value, the more it costs. So we've been running capitalist economies for 200 odd years. Pricing is pretty spot on in the economies we live in. So it's no surprise that email marketing campaigns are very cheap to run, and sort of less conceptually difficult to get your head around than search advertising or Facebook advertising, which are incredibly complicated to get to run effectively and to produce a return on investment consistently. The rewards are there, but it's harder to get your head around, and therefore it's more expensive if you're going to use an external provider. So whether you're doing it yourself, hiring internally, using an external provider, these services are going to flex in price according to how much value they can bring. Now, the typical way we see things go is that B2B companies in the early days, or when they're new to digital marketing, they want to dip their toe into it, they start with the outbound stuff. And when they start on the outbound stuff, they then transition into the inbound stuff when they're more sort of comfortable. If you are interested in working out what factors work well for your company, then I invite you to click on the link below. We've prepared something called LarryBot, which is an automated digital marketing consultant. It's actually me, my name, because I'm Larry. It's an automated marketing consultant version of myself. Go ahead, click the link, pop some details into that, and it will tell you what you should specifically be doing for your industry. Hey there, brainy marketers. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you found it useful, do us a favor and like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video on all of your social media channels. So go ahead and do all those things, and we'll see you for the next video. Cheers.